Are you ready for it?
Are you ready for it?
Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 premiere right now. Hello, my beautiful Bravo lovers. What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you are not subscribed, let's just get this out of the way. Hit subscribe right now. It's quick and it's free, and it's a way to say, hey girl, I support your channel. We have got to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 premiere. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to break down. We're gonna do it all today, so get comfortable, grab a drink, a coffee, a cocktail, whatever, and let's hang out and talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Season 12 premiered on May 11th, and we've got to talk about the ratings first. The Beverly Hills ladies have stepped it up. They got 200,000 more viewers this season than they did for their season 11 premiere. The season 12 premiere had 1.15 million viewers. Congratulations, all of the Beverly Hills ladies. The season premiere overall, if I had to give it a rating, I would give it like a 7. It was good. It was good. Do not get me wrong. But it wasn't like, holy shitballs, look at all this drama. We're kind of like setting the stage. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we began to see some of the storylines begin to play out. Of course, we had the Dorit home invasion, which we are going to talk about in depth. We have the Reyna Sutton feud, the Garcelle Erica feud. We see that little tension begin to unfold. Kyle, I'm kind of still unsure where her storyline is. She is still the queen of Beverly Hills, though. Let's not get that twisted. Without Kyle Richards, well, we wouldn't have Kim Richards. We wouldn't have Kathy Hilton. So, love her or hate her, I love Kyle. Sometimes she doesn't really talk that much about her personal life, but she's like an integral role of the cast overall. Crystal, I guess we have to kind of see. I think her storyline is going to play out later in the season when she goes head to head with Erica. Let's pick it up. The season immediately started with the Dorit home invasion footage. Oh, put a pin in that for a second. There is an Instagram post that I saw from the Instagram account Bravo Afterthoughts, and when I read it, I'm like, yes, exactly. So the post said, I love that we're starting off RHOBH with a feud based on Watch What Happens Live appearance that aired just 1 month earlier during last season. Makes this season premiere feel like a continuation rather than a catch-up, which is a nice change of pace from other franchises. I have to really 100% agree with that post. This season immediately started to film immediately after season 11 reunion aired. So there was no downtime. We are picking up exactly where we left off last season with every feud, everything. So, like I was saying, the season 12 Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiere opened up with the camera footage of Dorit's home invasion. It was so dramatic, it was so eerie, it was so emotional. I've got a lot of thoughts about it, which we are going to unpack later in this recap. But first, we're going to talk about the Reyna Sutton feud. So Sutton went on Watch What Happens Live a month earlier after the premiere aired. That's what it said. So back on July 2021, Sutton went on Watch What Happens Live and made a comment about Reyna not sending a thank you note after Sutton invited Reyna and Harry to the Elton John charity event. So Lisa is pissed. She is so pissed off that Sutton did this to her on national television. But Sutton tells Garcelle when they're in Miami that she just thinks it's going to blow over. And Sutton realizes she had a foot in mouth mishap, which she kind of did, but she was also kind of like sticking up for Garcelle, sticking up for her friend, because last season, Reyna came for Garcelle about, oh, why wouldn't you, send Harry a thank you note, letting him know how much you loved the pasta sauce. And Garcelle's like, I did. I told him that I liked it in the moment. Reyna stirring the goddamn pot. Like I said, Garcelle and Sutton, they are in Miami. Sutton is supporting Garcelle for Garcelle's charity event. Angels for Humanity supporting Haiti. So we're continuing to see the Sutton-Garcelle friendship bud and grow. They are very good buds. See what I did there? Da-da-da. So Sutton and Crystal, though, they're also working through their issues. Their friendship is on the up and up. So we see Sutton and Crystal have a little hangout session. And here's what I'm going to say about Crystal. We didn't see much of her throughout the premiere. She had a scene with her daughter. She had a scene with Sutton. Crystal's redoing her basement, the one she was talking about last season. But overall, during the premiere, we don't really see much of Crystal. We also do not see any of the new housewife, Diana Jenkins. I'm sure we'll see her maybe episode 2, episode 3. We're letting the anticipation build up. I'm excited to see Diana. You want a new villain? Here I am. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Sutton is now newly single and is dating, and she has some qualifications for her fellow suitors. They have to be handsome, tall, educated, and they have to like cats. So she's looking for a cat guy, a cat man. I have 4 cats, so also don't like women, so there is that. Sorry, Sutton. There is a scene with Erica and Garcelle working out. So Erica and Garcelle, they're trying to maybe attempt to rebuild a friendship. Spoiler alert, not gonna work. So Garcelle went in there with, what's that word I'm looking for? With an agenda. She went in there ready to defend Sutton to Erica, and Erica is just not having it. Erica and Sutton, they're like oil and vinegar, or oil and water. Oil and water. Damn, I pulled a Ramona.
Or just oil and vinegar. It's okay, I get it.
Oil and vinegar go together. You mean oil and water? Yes, they do. They're right there on the table.
No, it separates. Mix it together and it separates.
So Garcelle asked if Erica was going to apologize to Sutton for threatening her last season, and Erica was all, who am I apologizing to? What am I apologizing to her for? So here's the thing. I think Erica did go too hard on Sutton last year. Sutton really was just saying everything that all of us thought, and all of the ladies thought. Sutton just had the balls to say it to Erica's freaking face. I do like that Garcelle is standing up for Sutton, but Sutton, like I said, really did ask the questions that no one else wanted to ask last season, and for that, I really commend her. This season, I think she is taking that zero fucks stance to like a whole new level, and is kind of crossing some lines, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit. But I do commend Sutton for standing up to Erica, and Erica, though, Erica's a bitch. All right? There. I said it. Erica's a bitch. Here are some things I want to talk about. Erica and Garcelle, they worked out, and now they're like having this mini one-on-one. Erica is saying that there was never $20 million in her LLC. She said she is never going to get away from widows and orphans, and that she never had the money. She never saw it. She never touched it. Who the fuck is she trying to fool, y'all? Who is she trying to fool? Not me. Not me. She said the bankruptcy trustee told Erica she never touched the Lion Air money. So basically, Erica is telling Garcelle that everything has been disproven. This sounds like gaslighting to me. making all of us seem like we're the crazy people. Like, we should have seen that in the press. All of this was discredited. She is gaslighting the hell out of Garcelle, and Garcelle's like, okay, sure, girl, whatever you say. Garcelle then says, if this isn't true, like if this, all of the stuff that happened last season wasn't true, and it has been disproven, why isn't it in the blogs? Why isn't it in the press? Why isn't it out there? And then Erica said that all of the facts are in her favor. Are they though? Are they? Erica said that Sutton has led the charge in asking all the questions about things that have been already disproven. Who are you trying to fool, Erica? Seriously, like, who are you trying to fool? And then there's this scene with Erica in her confessional, and the producer asked her how and when this information was disproven. And Erica said, I don't know. You'll have to go and check all of that out. But it was disproven early, so Bravo can do their due diligence. And then the producer asks, is the proof available to the public? Apparently, Erica does not like to be questioned or pressed. Erica then replied with, yeah, duh. Tell them to go fucking read. Everything that my lawyer has put out there, they can go and answer their own fucking questions.
I guess the question is, like, is the proof available to the public?
Yeah, duh. Tell them to go and read everything that my lawyers put out and that they can answer their own questions.
Okay. Garcelle asks if everything has been dismissed, and Erica says, well, no, but it's time to smile a little bit and have some fun. So here's my thoughts. How dare Erica speak so belittling to producers who are just asking questions and just doing their job? It's almost giving me Teresa vibes. Like, you can't question anything about Erica. Nothing. And as soon as you ask a question, she's like, fuck you. Go read. You're an idiot. Duh. Do your own reading. Girl, chill out. Looks freaking guilty. Guilty behavior, if you don't ask me myself. You sound guilty. You sound like you're trying to hide something. Why are you getting so pressed? If it was disproven, show the receipts. You could have done that last season. If everything was all freaking dismissed, why wouldn't you show the receipts and be like, boom, look, it's been dismissed. Please stop questioning me. But you didn't. You freaking clapped back at everybody. Freaking annoying. That's what it is. Garcelle thinks Erica is in denial, and she is not wrong. Erica also then says that the New York Times articles, the article blogs, the press documents, the documentary on Hulu, all of that isn't true. They aren't? Keep thinking that. Garcelle, though, not buying any of this at all. So then, all right, so we have what's going on with Erica. Let's move away from that. We're going to switch gears, and we're going to talk about the Dorit home invasion. We all know about it. And if you don't, you're living under a rock. Sorry. So last summer, Dorit, her home was broken into. She was held at gunpoint. The intruders took handbags, jewelry, clothing, everything. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to play both sides of the fence here. My personal opinion, I feel like she's telling the truth. But I'm just gonna play devil's advocate so all of you know that are watching this video know what is out there and what is being said. A lot of people aren't buying what she's saying. A lot of people think that she's making this up, that it was staged, that she hired these people to break into her homes so she can collect the insurance money. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did my digging. So, I've read some things that it's a weird coincidence that Dorit's home keeps getting burglarized when lawsuits bubble up. So this is not the first time that Dorit has been robbed. Back in 2019, Dorit and PK's home they were trying to sell was robbed. Essentially, someone pretended to be a home buyer interested in the house and robbed the home they were trying to sell. Dorit and PK pulled the house off the market. I don't think they were home, but the house they were trying to sell was robbed. So that happened back in 2019. And now, here we are, 3 years later? And she got robbed again. There are multiple lawsuits. One in 2018, when she was sued by a business partner allegedly owing that business partner money for Beverly Beach. And then again in 2021 because PK owed back taxes. And both of the robberies happened around the same time the lawsuits happened. So that's why people are saying, something is a little fishy. It's not sitting right with me. Because if Dorit's home was robbed, she can file a claim with her insurance company and the money will be paid back. And they can allegedly use that money to pay off the lawsuits. I'm just saying what is out there, all right? I'm just saying what is out there. Here's another thing that is kind of like a little weird. So in the footage that was aired, the intruders smashed through her glass door. Now, in the middle of the night, when everything is quiet, do you not think she would hear glass being shattered? She not once mentioned that. Like, I heard glass being shattered and it woke me up. She said she heard her door open and she thought it was her kids because she put her kids to bed and she thought they were coming back into her bedroom. Also, the alarm system wasn't set. And she talked about that after the premiere when her and Kyle were on Watch What Happens Live. She said that she didn't turn it on because her kids consistently wake up in the middle of the night, and if she had it on, it would trigger the alarm. Also, how did they get in if she had security and lives in a gated community? She said when towards the end of the episode, she hung out with all the other ladies and said, oh yeah, my kids are at home with security and my assistant. Now, security could have easily been hired after the event, benefit of the doubt. I just don't know. Also, it was very similar to the Kim K robbery. Remember on Keeping Up with the Kardashians after Kim K was robbed? She hung out with her sisters in sweatpants, no glam. The story that Dorit shared was very similar to the story Kim K shared. Please don't kill me, I have kids, I'm a mother, take whatever you want. These are all just theories that are out there that I'm just sharing. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, my personal thing is I believe Dorit. I believe this actually happened. Whether or not she staged this or not, that's beside the point. I have empathy for Dorit. The whole thing is so sad. And I feel for her on such like a deep level. Like I really do. Something so traumatic. And now the episode is airing and she has to relive what is going on. She has to relive all of this stuff all over again. How traumatic is that? And then a lot of people are like, she was so calm. Yeah, she was calm because her kids had no goddamn idea what even happened. So she can't be, in front of her kids breaking down and crying because then they're going to ask questions and then she has to explain the situation. So let's switch gears for a second and talk about the scene with Kyle and Sutton. So Sutton visits Kyle at her old Bel Air house, and Kyle thinks she's going to be able to have this emotional meetup with Sutton. They're both going to bawl their eyes out, be super emotional. Like, Kyle's ready to cry. She is ready to freaking cry. And here's the thing. Sutton had zero empathy or sympathy, both, for Dorit. In fact, Sutton makes the whole thing about her damn self. Sutton said, yeah, it's weird. And then Sutton says, I've been putting out fires all day too. I have a French designer and immigration, and I couldn't find Wyatt. And Kyle says, that doesn't seem like a fire. And Sutton is all, well, it is for me and my business and what I'm trying to do. It's all relative. I mean, I wasn't held at gunpoint. I'm sorry.
You know, it's all relative.
I know.
I mean, it wasn't held at gunpoint. I'm sorry.
Yo, that was so rude. Like, what in God's green earth? Like, either Sutton is, like, extremely full of herself and her problems, or she's really not buying that Dorit was actually robbed and it was an actual thing that happened. I don't know. So then the rest of this episode really revolves around all of the women digesting and discussing what happened to Dorit. Reyna, she feels horrible. She's planning a 70th birthday party for Harry Hamlin, and now it's like, I don't even know if I should have this birthday party for him after what just happened with Dorit. Side note, I would love to look like Harry Hamlin at 70. Like, he looks so good. And then we also need to talk about the shade that Sutton threw at Erica. So Kyle tells Sutton that Erica is also dating people because Sutton shared with Kyle that she had a conversation with Crystal and shared her qualifications. And then said, I don't care if they're rich. So maybe my qualifications are different than your friends. Meaning Erica. Sutton also went into her confessional and said, I have my own money. Unlike Erica, I don't need money in order to make myself feel better. Maybe Erica misses her big house, all the jewelry, and the lifestyle, so she needs to look for someone that can provide that for her. Yeah, I'm deceased. Sutton, how many fucks do I give? None. She does not care. And I'm like here for it. Sutton is extremely defensive towards Erica anytime Erica is brought up. But I mean, can we really blame her? Sutton does not feel sorry for Erica at all. Sutton is so pissed off because not a single person stood up for her when everything went down at that dinner fight, when Erica screamed at her and threatened at her and treated her so horribly. Sutton said in her confessional, go and talk to the victims. Talk to their families. They're crying. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And she said that because Kyle said to Sutton that she thought Erica went home and cried her eyes out after that fight from last season. I mean, I'm Team Sutton there, just saying. Sutton is also pissed because the husbands are held to a different standard than her. Remember last season, Kyle, Mauricio, Dorit, PK all made fun of Erica and Tom, but it just kind of seems like Erica is so quick to forgive and like brush it under the freaking rug, which is true. So I can see how Sutton is a little tiffed. So the episode then wraps up with everyone getting together at Kyle's house to be there for Dorit. Dorit said that she left her kids with her assistants and security, and that's another thing that people were giving her so much shit for on Instagram and social media. They're saying, why would you leave your kids with an assistant? Well, here's why. Her kids don't know what happened. They were asleep through the whole thing. They have no clue what happened. They don't know about the robbery. So Dorit can't be at home and cry her eyes out. She needs to stay strong for her kids. So she took the opportunity to go to Kyle's. Also, she needs to film and collect a paycheck. I'm just saying. So by Dorit going to Kyle's, that was a safe space for her to let her guard down, cry, show emotion, and just be supported by her girlfriend. So I understand why she did that. So Dorit is then resharing everything that happened with all the ladies. So there was this moment, though, when Dorit was at Kyle's and Kyle's dogs started going crazy, like barking like crazy. And Dorit got so paranoid. She's like, what the fuck is that? Kyle, what is that? What is that? Why are dogs getting so crazy? They never do that. They never do that. Go and check it. Please go and check it. Go and check it. Now, either Dorit's a really damn good actress or this actually happened and she actually was robbed and is having PTSD. I'm gonna choose the latter. Dorit's shook. Like, she's so shook to the core. I mean, if that happened to me, I would be shook. So then there's this other moment that I want to talk about. Garcelle arrives to Kyle's. And the first thing that Erica says to Garcelle, because Garcelle's like, oh my God, we just talked, 5 hours before this happened. Oh my God, everything was so fine. And Erica says to Garcelle, yeah, Garcelle, they had a gun to her head. What a bitchy fucking cunty thing to say. Like, that was so uncalled for on so many levels. Like, fuck you, Erica. You are mean. You are a nasty, mean bitch. Like, why would you even say that? She said it, the tone of her voice, the way she said it, was almost like, yeah, duh. Why would you even ask that? Why? You should know better, Garcelle. Like, Dorit also said there was a moment that she told the robbers, look, you took a lot already. Just leave so you don't get in trouble. So the guys even had her cell phone, and I'm assuming they had her cell phone so she wouldn't dial 911, and they left the phone by the gate as they were leaving, which we saw the camera footage of that actually happening. So then PK arrives at Kyle's house, and Dorit and him have a very emotional reunion. It was so heartbreaking. The last half of this episode was really emotional and really, a lot of emotions and really emotional. And how many times can I say emotional? But it's really disheartening that so many people, like to jump on social media and discredit something so traumatic and be like, oh, she's faking it. Oh, that didn't happen. Like, how do you know? Like, what if that happened to you and you see on social media that people think you're lying about it? And whether or not she's lying about it, like, that's for her and God to decide. Like, I believe Dorit. I believe that this actually happened, and I feel horrible. And I think it's a long road, and it's going to take a lot of therapy for Dorit to really come out the other end stronger. So that is what happened during the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 premiere. What did y'all think? Let's turn it over to you. Comment below, sound off. Let's have a conversation. What did we think of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 premiere? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment below, do all the things, and let's talk Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Episode 2 next week. Love y'all so much. All of my Bravo lovers, get subscribed. And if you want the audio version of today's video, head on over to my Patreon, become a Patreon member. There's various levels for you to support what I'm doing over here. It would mean so much to me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.